Hello everybody, Dave Neal here, stand-up comic host of Bachelor Nation News. In our second video of the day today, we've got Jason Tartick explaining how much money he made influencing in 2022. As we know, he hosts the Trading Secrets podcast, and he does like an end-of-the-year sort of audit where he explains how much he made, his biggest brand deal. As you can see from the thumbnail, his biggest brand deal was $125,000. Total influencer revenue, that number that you see right there blurred out, is over $1 million. We're going to hear him explain it right now. I personally love the personal finance side of The Bachelor, the sort of side that says, hey, how much can you make out there? He discusses how Clayton realized the money wasn't as easy as he thought it would be, but if you work hard and provide value, how much money you can make with an audience of his size. So let's watch the trailer, then I'm going to play 3 or 4 different clips for you guys.
What was the biggest deal that you had?
Instagram, biggest one, 125K.
What was your total social media revenue for 2022? Last year you were trembling and stumbled over your words, and you're a little more comfortable in the...
All right, so we're going to get to that right now. Just remember, if you feel a certain way about influencers sharing how much money they're making, probably it's because we've been trained not to discuss our finances. It's very important that these conversations happen, and it's a nerve-wracking thing because Jason is only going to get judged from people. It's a very taboo subject, as it were. All right, so first, let's hear what he has to say about going from the corporate world, where you have a steady income, to the world of influencing and essentially being your own boss.
You're a W-2 employee, like I was in corporate. I know that unless something material, like really big happens, that I know what my paycheck will be. Like tomorrow, next week, next month, and planning and budgeting for that becomes so much easier. I don't know. The other thing is, not only do I not know, I can never turn it off. It's very easy, at least in my perspective, especially when, like, I don't know, you're incentivized a lot by money. It's very easy to just be like, I know if I go work 4 more hours in this corporate job, I know they're not rewarding for me in any way. Like even the...
So essentially it comes down to equity, having equity and ownership share in what you do. It's why I'm podcasting or making content with you guys while I'm away, because I know that that's the only way that I make my living is by continuing to throw coal into the fireplace, right? That's the only way we can keep this train going into the furnace. And that's okay. That's all right. I mean, it's motivation to keep working. More so than just making the day-to-day money, there's also the fear of losing an audience if you're just randomly gone for a week or two. I mean, when you go to your favorite store, you expect them to be open at reasonable hours. You guys expect me to have 3 to 4 videos every morning for you. And that's okay. That's not I'm not complaining. It's part of the gig here. All right, let's go to the 21-minute mark. And then, like I said, at the very end, we're going to get to the part where he breaks down how much money he made this year.
Jason Oppenheim was not paid, and no guest has been paid.
And Jason Oppenheim gave me an all-time 2022 Trading Secrets memory when he absolutely put you in the hot seat, saying that he had about 7 minutes to record an entire episode. So that was electric.
I will say this though, I got paid. Evan, can you come off mute and help me with this? There is a group out there that will pay people to go on podcasts, like Cameo, if you will. Evan,
by the way, I think this is a horrible idea because if you're a podcaster, to pay for your guest, because I feel like there's an exchange that happens when you go on someone's show. The exchange being, I'm going to get in front of a new audience. I'm going to give them value. They might come onto my channel. When you start throwing money into it, I feel like it's all for the wrong reasons. But should Jason turn down the money? Heck no. If the money's out there, I would take it.
Guestio. Okay, so you can go out there. Suppose you're starting a podcast, people, and you're just like, are trying to get guests and you're struggling. You can go to Guestio. You can pay for someone to come on, right? How much did I forgot. Was it $3,000? 3,500? 2,500? 3,500. Okay, so I got paid 3,500 to do
$3,500 to do an interview. Can you imagine? Just for him to talk, just for him to show up? I don't even know if he had to do it in person, just to have a conversation. And friends, when we look at our New Year's resolutions for 2023, that is why we look at building your own brand and having that equity, because the money's there.
This is where Marshall, our editor, inserts the drum roll. Jason Tartick, I must ask you, what was your total social media revenue for 2022?
It was. So it's the answer. What's ironic, and that's why I have QuickBooks up. I'm looking. Ironically enough, it was just over. So it's over $1 million. The reason I have QuickBooks up is because it's ironic that last year at this time, when you interviewed me, the answer was the exact same. It was just over $1 million. The reason I
don't know if that's the definition of irony.
Looking something up, so everyone that knows, is my December and some of my November numbers for this year haven't been done. So I want to be accurate here and run the report.
And look, guys, I get it. I'll sympathize with you if you're in a job you don't like, you don't get paid enough, you're not valued enough. I get it. We've all been there. The idea being the world is moving forward with the influencer model. The world is moving forward with small business, straight to consumer model. So how can you provide information and entertainment, or a combination of the two? How can you provide value to somebody, whether it by owning your own Etsy shop or whatever it is? Think about that. What brings you joy? How can you turn that in some way or another into a living? And again, something might provide you joy and you don't want to turn it into a living. You just love bowling. You don't want to be a bowling. But, I've got a friend who loves Formula One racing. And I was like, hey, buddy, I think you should start your own Formula One racing YouTube channel. You're an actor, you're a comedian, and you love talking about this stuff for free. Make some money on it, go out there and be a commentator, just make it work. And for some people, that's exactly what they do. And I'm sure some of you guys out there, this may ring true with the new year coming, that you're going to have, some passion projects you want to jump into. I totally get it. All right, let's see here how much he made just on TikTok alone, which I was actually surprised by this answer. I didn't know there was this much money in TikTok, but we're going to cut to what Jason Tartick made on TikTok.
Yeah. So this is, about 16,000 then this year. Yeah, 15,000 this year.
Are you making money off TikTok? YouTube?
Yeah.
And you getting the
I would say around, so TikTok, I have last year, this time I had around 130,000 followers. Now I have around 166 or 65. I've made, I don't know.
You're chipping away.
100-ish K on TikTok.
$100,000 on TikTok alone. He didn't say he's making any money on YouTube, judging by his channel here, which, by the way, that's not the one I wanted. Let's see here. If we go to Jason Tartick's YouTube channel for Trading Secrets, my guess is they're not making any money, but short form content will start making money on YouTube starting in February. But if we look here, there's only 15,000 subscribers. Their thumbnails are absolute garbage. Is this even the same video? This might be the wrong channel. Either way, I don't think he's making much money on there. Let's search Jason Tartick here. Jason Tartick. The point being is that YouTube's the only revenue sharing program out there. Okay, I think I had the wrong YouTube channel.
Very first season on.
So YouTube's the only revenue sharing. So on TikTok, he has to negotiate sponsors, this and that. Whereas YouTube, you just get a portion of all of the revenue earned. But he's getting 400 views, 1,000 downloads. These are not good numbers. So my advice to Jason would be that he needs to spend a lot of time and energy, or have someone investing in his YouTube channel, because he's already got all the content out there. I say the same thing about Caitlin Bristow, and I know they're making a fortune, so they probably don't want to do this, but long-term play for long-form content is and only will be YouTube. All right, so anyway, that's just my pitch there. If anyone wants to check out my Patreon, I've got a private membership-only community.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
And I actually recorded about a half an hour long video driving to South Carolina with my wife, and we discussed all of the behind the scenes of the channel, where we're trying to grow this, that, and the other. Trying to grow the podcast more this year. In our second month of the podcast, which is Bachelor Rush Hour, which is the daily podcast that combines everything we do on YouTube. In the first month, it made $520. That was November. In December, it's set to make around $750. I'm going to try to grow that 10 times. to the size. It's not there. It's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of interviews, getting on different podcasts, this and that. But I think there's a big market that exists on podcasting that I'm not a part of, just like Jason's not a part of the YouTube market. There's so many different revenue streams. You can't always attack them all at once. My suggestion for people is to try to dominate one of them and then try to kind of spread it apart. All right, so let's go to the 46-minute mark. Our final piece here is going to be the topic of judgment. So let's just have a listen.
I think is really important. If you're feeling judged, just recently learned this from therapy, a lot of judgment out there. I'm afraid of what people think of me. Something I'm working on. I need to care less. But judgment is something, it's one of two things. If someone is judging something, it's something that they wish they had. So if I'm judging someone for something, it's likely that I'm judging them for it because it's something deep down I wish I had. I'm envious or there's some type of insecure of something I don't have. Therefore, I make a judgment that makes me feel better about it. Or it's something that you resent about yourself that you see in someone else.
Very deep stuff there. So when it comes to the taboo nature of talking about how much money you make, I think it's important to listen to these kind of conversations where people are actually going out there. It's frightening. There's a reason I don't talk about it on my channel because I've got nothing but it's used as a way to criticize others, and it's so taboo. It's weird. But would I talk about it on Jason Tartick's podcast? I would open up 100% all of the ad revenue, how much everything's making, and this and that, because I think it's an interesting convo to have. And for those of you guys that are interested, first of all, on the Patreon, I do share all of that. Complete open book, all of the year-end revenue. I will share that probably at the end of this week, what 2022 did compared to 2021. With my channel, just like with Jason's, it held the same amount pretty much from the 2021 level, maybe more, maybe a little bit more this year, even though my ad rates went down, which is a random fluctuating number. So I actually made about probably $20,000 less per view than I made last year for no reason other than maybe it's because the economy's kind of chilled out. We're not working from home as much. I don't really know. My channel hasn't changed. It's just a behind the scenes thing. But we talk about that all on the Patreon if you want to know more about the behind the scenes of the finance world. It is interesting. I love the conversations, and I love when Jason brings it to the table. Let me know what you guys think. Patreon.com/Dave Neal for private behind-the-scenes bonus content to check out that video of me driving with Dave. And also, don't forget, Bachelor Rush Hour will be live every afternoon. You can go check that out wherever you listen to podcasts. That is free. That is available to you. Bachelor Rush Hour every afternoon. Link in the comment section below to see where you can listen. We'll talk to you right after this.